I mean, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
How did
Because
I get
it's like, it's so crazy. There was multiple times I was like, is this for real? Is this happening right now? Like,
Oh, Rachel, I am so excited for the season. As a Jersey girl, I am ready for this season. It's going to be so good. So how do you feel going into the season? Are you excited? You anxious? You nervous? Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm all the things. I mean, I'm excited. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. It's like, I don't know what to expect. I've never done this before. This is uncharted territory for me. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see, what opportunities come from this. I'm excited for the feedback from the fans. I'm excited for it all.
What kind of surprised you the most going through this whole process?
I think I surprised myself, to be honest with you, because I had just had a baby. So I was balancing that and obviously a new job. So it was, I definitely surprised myself in my ability to multitask and have all my bases covered, because my family is my number one priority. So for me, making sure that that was taken care of, and then being able to do hair and makeup, have a cute outfit on, be on time, that's a lot. It's a big commitment, and I want to see it through in its totality. So I'm surprised with myself and what I was able to accomplish for my first season as a housewife.
Definitely. I mean, what was it like getting that call saying that you were going to be a new housewife of New Jersey?
So surreal that I don't even think it has still hit me.
Great.
Because it was like, oh, we're so excited. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, but it's so abstract feeling, because it's not like a tangible thing. It's not like, oh, you won this medal and it gets shipped to your house and you get it. It's so abstract, So it's I'm waiting for this explosion of housewife to happen,
Right. Totally. I know that you said that you had just had a baby. You were 7.5 weeks postpartum when you started filming. I mean,
yeah.
What was that experience like? What was harder? Was dealing with postpartum or dealing with the ladies of New Jersey?
It's a tie.
Right.
It's a tie. But going through that at the same time, say a prayer for your girl, because it was tough. I mean, you don't feel like yourself. You're uncomfortable. Your body isn't really yours yet. It was definitely tough. It was mentally very trying, but I feel like I handled it really well. And I don't think that even translates to anything. I don't think that you see that, because I was able to handle it so well. I have an amazing support system in my family, and I'm so grateful for that. Without my parents, my husband, my brother and sister-in-law, I would not be able to have done any of this.
Right. No, totally. I mean, you made it look easy. I watched the first
Thank
episode.
you.
I'm like, I can't believe that you just had a baby.
Thank you.
Incredible. I mean, was this a big family decision for you guys to make this decision to come on the show? Because obviously you see how sometimes it can affect family dynamics. So was that ever something that was a topic of conversation before you said yes?
So I absolutely had a conversation with my entire family, family meetings about it. What do you guys think? Because I truly value their opinions and what they have to say. Mm-hmm. So having those discussions beforehand and making sure everybody was comfortable with it was definitely something. If I didn't have their support 120%, I probably wouldn't have done it, because to me, there's nothing more important than my family.
Definitely. And I know that you were friends with Melissa before coming on the show, but was there anybody that you instantly clicked with and you just formed an instant bond with?
Totally. Jen Fessler. She her and I, it was our eyes met, and it was just a love spell. We are two of the same kind, but so different at the same time. I'm so grateful to have met her through the show. I mean, we are very, very close.
Love that. I know you said that I think you watched the show from beginning to end during COVID. So what stood out to you the most? Who were you most excited to get to know? Who were you maybe a little hesitant about getting to know?
I just went into it with an open mind. I wanted to get to know everybody for who they showed me they were, not what somebody told me or what I had watched. So I really tried to compartmentalize what I had already known about the cast and just go into it with let's get to know who they are, because you only see so much in an episode of a show. So there's a whole nother side to everybody in our whole cast that no one else really gets to see. So I just went in with a very open mind, and I wanted to give everybody the chance for me to connect with them.
Definitely. Did Melissa give you any advice or any warnings before you started filming?
Not necessarily about the cast or filming or anything, but her and Joe both told my husband and I to just keep it home. Keep your priorities in order, keep your family first, your kids first, always make that your priority. and everything else is second best.
Yeah, definitely. I spoke to Teresa recently and she said that she likes new blood on the show. So did you find her welcoming at all? And had you met her through Melissa beforehand?
No, I had never met her prior to filming, but she was as welcoming, I think, as she could be for somebody that's Melissa's friend. I definitely think just being associated with Melissa, we were polarized, which is unfortunate because I would have loved for the opportunity to really have gotten to know her more personally. But I don't blame her for it. I mean, I probably would have done the same thing if I was her, given the circumstances of where their relationship is.
Right. I mean, like you said, given the circumstances of where the relationship was when you first started filming, I mean, it's got to be interesting kind of, obviously being on the outside and then coming into this mix and not really realizing their dynamic. Did you realize how strained this relationship was until you started filming?
It's one thing to watch it and it's one thing to live it and see it with your own eyes. And I think for me, that was it was really, really difficult to watch because the cuts are so deep and there's so much animosity and there's so much sadness and anger and resentment that you don't even see half of it. I feel like it's like they need lots and lots of family therapy.
Right. I mean, is it possible to pick a side? Are you on sides when it comes to Melissa, Teresa, and Joe?
I mean, obviously coming on the show as Melissa's friend, I mean, I think that says enough.
Yeah.
John and Joe are extremely close. I mean, we're together a lot. We hang out with them a lot. Our kids are very good friends. My son Jaden is best friends with their son Gino. So we're connected in more ways than one. But, I'm going to support Melissa and Joe. And I hope the best for their relationship with Teresa. And I hope that they can reconcile at some point in time. You live once, you have one family. Teresa says all the time, she has one brother, as do I. So I can't even fathom going through what they have been through.
Right. Do you think that they will ever repair this relationship? Knowing what you know, obviously as viewers, we don't know exactly what happens. Knowing what you know, do you think that they'll repair this relationship?
I don't think anything is off the table ever. I just don't. I really don't. I think if they want to fix it, they will and they can look past it and they'll figure it out if they want to, but never say never.
What was your reaction when you heard this rumor about Melissa cheating on Joe? I mean, did you find like this kind of came out of left field? I mean, it seems like that probably really shakes things up this season.
I literally was like, what is happening right now? What is going on? Like, are you guys serious? Like, there's so many shots being fired at them constantly that I don't get it. I'm not seeing it. I don't get it. They're happy. Like, just let them be.
Yeah. Great. How did Melissa handle that?
I mean, like anything else. I mean, how many times have there been like rumors about anything in their lives, really? I mean, they handle it with such grace and so unbothered that I'm like taking notes as like I'm watching them because it's really impressive. It is. It's like, I mean, they've been on this show for so many years and they handle themselves so well, always with class. And, I'm proud of them, honestly.
Definitely. What do you think fans' reactions will be once we see this whole situation play out at the end of the season?
That's a great question. I'm not totally sure even for myself. Because I only have seen one side of it. I only know it from my perspective. So I'm interested to see from the other side of the beach ball,
Right, definitely. I read that it seems like you form an alliance with Melissa and Margaret this season. Does that create a divide in the group at all?
We're definitely divided. I mean, there's absolutely no hiding that. I don't know if it was necessarily me that created that. I mean, I probably didn't help. But I think that the new girls in the show, we are friends with who we're friends with. And inevitably there's sides. And here we are.
Yeah. You're also good friends with Frank's girlfriend, Brittany. How does she feel when Frank gets emotional about his relationship with Dolores? It seems like Frank was having a hard time kind of letting go of his relationship now that she has a serious boyfriend. So how does she feel about all that?
I think Brittany coming into his relationship, like obviously Dolores and Frank had already had a relationship prior to her coming in the picture. She knew what the deal was. She knew the dynamic of the relationship. She knew what she was getting into. So for her, I think I think she's more understanding than probably like somebody like me would be.
Yeah.
Like she's very patient, and she communicates to him, and then he communicates to her. And I think that really helps. But I think she's also understanding of the fact that like things have been this way for so many years, and now it's an adjustment for him. And now they're in their happy relationship, and this is a new chapter for them, equally so for Dolores.
Definitely. It does appear that you and Teresa do kind of go out at the season based on the trailer that we see. Can you kind of tease that a little bit?
I mean, as I said before, coming in as Melissa's friend, I mean, I just feel immediately polarized from Teresa without, having a chance. I mean, we did get to chat a little bit earlier on in the season, and, she has a blended family now with Louis, we have a blended family too. Like, we have some things in common. But it was like inevitable, unfortunately.
Right. Things start off with a bang this season with Dolores and Jennifer. Obviously, they were friends for a while, but things kind of blow up. And it seems like you kind of struck a chord with Jennifer in the first episode. And it appears that the two of you kind of go out at the season. Was that a contested relationship all season long?
Not necessarily all season long, but I mean, it's a perfect amount of like drama and fun. You know what I mean? It's like a good mix of the two.
Yeah. Were you surprised that this kind of blew up at Margaret's house?
Yes. Yeah, I was, because, I wasn't there last year. I wasn't aware of like where I mean, obviously I knew, but to be in the situation with them and to feel the tension and all of that it was definitely shocking.
Yeah. I mean, was there ever a point in the season that you asked yourself, what did I get myself into?
Oh my God, multiple times. I mean, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
How did
because it's like, it's so crazy. There was multiple times I was like, is this for real? Is this happening right now? Like, yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
Did you and Danielle form a close friendship as well, being two new housewives?
In the beginning, we had, our moments, and we got along, and like having young girls and like all those kinds of things. But as the season progresses, our dynamic definitely changes, but we'll have to wait to see.
I don't know. Jackie kind of had a little bit of an issue with you in the first episode where you didn't look at her at all during a conversation that you had, and she kind of called you out. Why do you feel like she did that? And what was your friendship like this season with her?
I was so caught off guard because we had great conversation prior to that. Like, I would never do that intentionally. So I was like, this is just so bizarre. I'm like, where is this? Like, I was so caught off guard. I'm like, is she actually mad at me right now? Like, is she really upset? Like, I was confused. So I apologize. But, I mean, we've since have spoken through it and talked through it, but I was definitely caught off guard. And I just think going into the season, having new girls on, I would imagine has to be uncomfortable, right? Like, there's somebody new coming in, and like, I'm trying to take her job. So I get why she was on the defense, and I don't knock her for it.
Definitely. Teresa said on her podcast that Margaret is messy, involved, and so toxic behind the scenes. She hopes the truth comes out. Now that you know Margaret, how would you describe her?
I don't think she's any of those things. I really don't. I don't know Margaret to be that to me. So she's been nothing but good to me. She's been kind to me. She has been a support person for me. I don't know her to be any of those things. She would take the shirt off her back for somebody. I don't know her to be any of those things to me.
Yeah. Can you tease anything about the Ireland trip? Were you on the
Oh God, we had such a great time. I'm like most excited to see those episodes, I have to be honest, because we just had so much fun. We laughed so hard. We had really good girl time. I feel like we were really able to connect with each other, and it was just a great trip. I feel like it was the dynamic that Jersey hasn't seen, I don't really think, ever. Definitely.
Were you invited to Teresa's wedding, or were you guys not at that place?
I wasn't at the wedding, but we'll have to see how that plays out, if, I was invited or not.
Right. Were you surprised that Teresa just didn't have Melissa as a bridesmaid? Like, could we have avoided a lot of this if she just did that?
I do. I think a lot of it could have been avoided, but that's not what she felt at the time. So she didn't ask her, and it led to a lot of issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. Are you a big Housewife fan before all this? Were you a big fan of all the other franchises as well?
So I I actually was in high school when all of this started. I was graduating high school when Jersey started, but my mom was a huge Bravo fan. Orange County from like day one. I remember like saying goodnight to her and be like, Mom, what are you watching? Right. And it was like the gates of like Orange County. Remember that? So I wasn't like a diehard fan. I definitely like dabble in Salt Lake City. It's just so hard to keep up because I have kids and then like I'm tired. I'm trying to keep my marriage afloat and like prioritize. It's tough. And I used to watch in the gym all the time. I was on the treadmill. Now I'm just like, I just can't even keep up. But I was a viewer, a consumer, but not like a diehard.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.